In my latest two videos, 97 and 98, we discussed the exposure ceilings prescribed by Reserve Bank of India. While this video series 99, let us learn another important topic on lending known as monitoring of advances. This topic shall be discussed in two parts, part 1 and part 2. Monitoring of advances is a continuous activity. It starts from disbursement of advances and it ends only when the entire advance is recovered. As the business environment, the regulatory environment, the technology, the management team, the attitude of the owners and managers can change over time. Banks need to be vigilant to protect the safety of their funds lent to each borrower. It is the continuous monitoring that helps the banks to protect it against the worsening of the credit risk and eventual loss. Monitoring involves ensuring that the funds are used for the purpose for which it has been lent. Funds are not withdrawn fraudulently. The business is growing and its financial health is improving. The management team continues to be strong. The means of monitoring, there are various means of monitoring an advance. Keeping an eye on the conduct of the accounts, collecting various reports and statements and scrutinizing them, conducting inspections at the manufacturing location or the business premises, verifying and reading the market reports available from different sources. So while this video series 99, we shall discuss one of the means of monitoring, namely the conduct of accounts. Let us understand some of the early warning signals as well. If you look at the operating accounts, the inability to maintain a stipulated margin in cash credit or overdraft account, or drawing exceeding the sanctioned limit or the drawing limit very frequently, reduction of drawing power by 20% or more immediately after a stock audit, periodic interest debited remaining unrealized, non-submission or undue delay in submission or submission of incorrect statements such as stock statement, book debt statement, quarterly information system reports, financial follow-up reports, etc. Wide variation between the value of the stock or book debt statement submitted for the month of March and the value of the stock or the book debt appearing in the financial statements. Frequent withdrawal of cash from the cash credit or overdraft accounts, large variation in credit summation and reported sales turnover. Credit summation is less by 20% or more compared to the sales turnover reported for the same period. Transfer of funds from cash credit or overdraft for purposes unrelated to the business activity. Frequent return of bills purchased, bills discounted. Sudden spurt in value of the stock or book debt reported in stock or book debt statement. Large number of transactions with the interconnected companies and large outstanding from such companies. Underinsured or overinsured inventory. Significant movement in inventory disproportionately higher than the growth in turnover. Similarly, significant movement in receivables, again disproportionately higher than the growth in sales turnover. increase in aging the receivables, request received from the borrower to postpone the inspection of the godown for flimsy reasons, request for frequent ad hoc sanctions, request for general purpose loans, critical issues highlighted in the stock audit report, frequent return of checks issued by the customer, issuance of checks in round sums or deposit of checks in round sums. In a term loan account, delay in meeting the commitment towards payment of installments or principals due, failure to make timely payment of interest on term loans, request for reschedule of installments or interest payment, funds coming from other banks to liquidate the outstanding loan amounts, request for sanctioning additional facilities for funding of interest and or installments. In case of an off-balance sheet item, delay in meeting the commitments towards the payment of crystallized liabilities under LC, BG, etc. Onerous clauses in issue of BG, LC, SBLC, LCs issued for local trade or related party transactions. When you look at a financial statement, excessive leverage, failure to pay statutory liabilities or non-payment of bills to operational creditors, steep decline in production figures, downward trend in sales and fall in profits, margin erosion, elongation of the working capital cycle, excessive inventory, trade debtors build-up, disproportionate increase in other current assets, significant increase in working capital borrowing as percentage of turnover, reduction in the stake of promoter director, increase in fixed assets without corresponding increase in turnover, increase in borrowing despite huge cash and cash equivalents in the borrower's balance sheet, frequent change in accounting period and or in accounting policies, actual sales or operating profits falling short of the projections accepted for loan sanction, large amount of disputed liabilities in the audit report for which provisions are not made, substantial related party transactions and general inability to adhere to the financial loan covenants, downward migration of internal or external ratings or rating outlook, raid by income tax, sales tax, central excise, GST officials, invoice devoid of TAN and other details, dispute on title of the collateral securities, reluctance to sign documents such as acknowledgement of debt and security, resignation of the key personnel and frequent changes in the management. Liabilities appear in the ROC search report not reported by the borrower in its annual report. High value RTGS payment or to unrelated parties. Single event of non-cooperation, prevention from conduct of stock audits by banks or evidence of diversion of funds for unapproved purposes or drop in internal ratings by 2 or more notches in a single review. Return of 3 or more checks issued by borrowers in 30 days on grounds of non-availability of balance or DP in the account, or return of 3 or more bills or checks discounted or sent under collection by the borrower, devolvement of DPG or LC or invocation of BG and its non-payment within 30 days. Third request for extension of time, either for creation or perfection of securities as against the time specified in original sanction terms or for compliance with any other terms and conditions of sanction. Increase in frequency of overdrafts in current accounts. The borrower reporting stress in the business and financials. Promoters pledging selling their shares in the borrower company due to financial stress. Regular, monthly, quarterly, half-yearly payments to the same party could indicate credit facility taken by the company from other parties, transfer of funds to the group firms, companies, promoters, etc. These are some of the early warning signals which a bank has to ensure monitoring such activities in an advance account. So in this video series 99, we have learned the importance of monitoring of advance. We also understood one of the means of monitoring, that the conduct of the account along with the early warning signals. Subscribe to this channel to receive intimation on my new videos. In my next video series 100, we shall continue our discussion on monitoring of advances. Thank you very much.